Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Johan Kremer. I'm based out of Singapore for Research in Motion Singapore, looking after Southeast Asia for content developers, brands, media partners, etc. What I want to do is to share with you a bit of a background on BlackBerry in the gaming environment, and hopefully gives you some ideas to do something with us. I just want to start first with the first thing. Raise your hands if you think BlackBerry is like guys in suits and ties. Just raise your hands. Who thinks that's BlackBerry? Okay. Okay, maybe let me start with another question. How many of you are from Asia? Just raise your hands from Asia. Okay. So the rest is probably from outside Asia, I guess, right? Okay. Now, many people think BlackBerry in this region, particularly in Singapore, BlackBerry is associated with guys in suits, right? Now, in reality, this is actually what you get as the user base in Asia. And there's also the same thing in Latin America and the Middle East. Okay. The next question: who thinks of BlackBerry being only Java? Raise your hands. No one? No Java? Okay. Well, it's a good thing because this is really what you get on the new BlackBerry playbooks and the BlackBerry 10. It basically runs on a new operating system called QNX. It's a company which we acquired about 1.5 to 2 years ago, as well as several other components like Scoreloop, the Astonishing Tribe, and Torch. It's some of the companies which we acquired 1 to 2 years back. And that actually enables us to do a lot of interesting stuff with partners like yourself. Again, people who buy BlackBerry is typically associated with this type of games, big brick breaker, right? Now guess what? This is what you really get today on the Playbook. And what these developers can actually monetize also on our smartphones, which are coming out, the BB10, later this year. Now, within BlackBerry, we believe that there are opportunities everywhere, and with the right people, you can actually monetize those opportunities, and anyone can seize these type of things. And a good example, for instance, in the Silicon Valley industry, I'm not sure whether you know this, recognize this guy. Anyone knows who this guy is? No? Maybe we should read more Forbes magazine. This guy is actually listed by Forbes magazine, featured in Forbes magazine, as one of the well-connected VC in Silicon Valley. His name is Pejman Nozad. He's actually a typical rag to riches story. He came into the US as a rug dealer, and he's one of the hottest VCs now in Silicon Valley. So we do share the same type of philosophy. There are opportunities, and you just have to seize it. And we can help you as a developer to seize those type of opportunities. Now let's start maybe with a few myth busters. Okay, many people are saying, well, BlackBerry market share is shrinking. Now, today we have 77 million active BlackBerry users, and that's about 20 million more than last year. So again, this is busted. Now let's have another one. BlackBerry users don't use applications. There are 6 million downloads of BlackBerry App World every day. 177 million downloads per month. And if you then look into specific countries like Indonesia, BlackBerry users there, they actually download twice as many apps as the average mobile user. In Thailand, 7 apps are downloaded on average. In Singapore, 8 apps are downloaded on average. So again, busted. Developers can't make money on BlackBerry. That's what we hear quite often as well. Now, if you look at some of the studies, there are more paid downloads than Androids. 43% more average daily downloads per app compared to App Store. There are 40% more revenue than Android apps. And 13% of BlackBerry developers make more than $100,000 US, considerably more than iOS and Android. Okay? So again, we can say that this is basically busted as well. Now, if you then look at the game environment, it actually drives a lot of the revenue on many platforms. And particularly if you then look at our operating system, if you compare this from, let's say, 5, 6 years back, OS 4, towards OS 7 and in the future OS 10 or BB10, BlackBerry 10, the amount of revenue generated on average per device keeps going compared to the previous operating systems. So we do foresee from Playbook towards BlackBerry 10 that this revenue will grow in multiples as well. So it's a very good opportunity for developers to monetize on our platform. Now, how do you start building apps for BlackBerry? So let's have a look at the guts of the environment. Well, BlackBerry and the next generation platform of smartphones, BlackBerry 10, provides a very easy porting environment for game developers. We have basically already playbooks out there. Smartphones are coming out with a similar operating system. And that creates, again, future opportunities to monetize on our platform. Some of the key components which are important for developers to know. We acquired several companies over the last 1-2 years, QNX, Cellmania, which is part of the AppWorld team, Torch, the Astonishing Tribe, and Scoreloop. And again, I will come back to Scoreloop later, but just to give you some quick background on Scoreloop, it's basically enabling more than 120 million existing game players to connect through virtual currencies, exchange of currencies between players. You have leadership boards, and you can connect to social networks. And guess what? BlackBerry Messenger will be one of them, which it will incorporate as well. What type of platform do we cater for? Well, it's both for hardcore gamers, casual gamers, and social gamers. And again, there's various ways to do this. We support HTML5, Adobe Flash, Java still, well, Java not so much, but at least the Android environment, where you can actually port Android Gingerbread 2.3 onto Playbook, as well as BB10, and the QNX BB10 social platform. We support paid, free, freemium type of games, where you have the in-add capabilities as well, microtransactions, and exchange of virtual goods. Again, Scoreloop is one of the parts which actually enables this, as well as several middleware gaming environments, like Unity, Marmalade, Shiva 3D, Cocos 2DX, Gameplay, lately Lua, etc. And there are actually more coming up as well. So these are some of the partners which have been added since DEF CON in San Francisco last year. We have payment service. First NDK freemium is out there already, the GT Racing, for instance, and the Frisbee Forever. And again, github.com/BlackBerry, this is where you find all of the social coding, Boost, Box2D, Bullet, Lua, Cocos 2DX, Gameplay. You can all be found there. Here's some of the Gameplay 3D information. We also now support Visual Studio Beta, which is for a lot of the game developers a quite easy way to develop on. We have Firefly Technologies, FMod, Scoreloop. And again, today we're actually currently developing the BBM integration into the Scoreloop platform, but it's already used by many other game developers, currently already using this for virtual currency, virtual goods, user data, stats, etc. Now, skipping through some of it. Now, one of the other things which one of the developers actually approaches at our booth is where you can connect certain additional external items like joysticks and this type of things. But what actually you can do now, you can actually create, with, for instance, Frogato. They created a console onto the BlackBerry device, which connects back to the Playbook. And if you look at it, the Playbook is actually connected back to the main screen. And that actually enables you to create this type of games using the BlackBerry device, connecting back to Playbooks. Angry Birds Space just came out. Amiga, those who used to play Amiga games, you're also able now to enjoy it in the near future. They're actually porting it over now to Playbook as well. We have Marmalade. Yasushi will actually demonstrate one of the games from console games which they ported over to Marmalade and then ported over to Playbook. So they will demonstrate it. They also have a booth at the, what's the location there? At the back. Yeah. There's another area where you can actually look at their games as well. And I think we also have a booth here in the main hall, so you can also have a look there as well. Sega will come out with Sonic 4. Unity has several games like Cut the Rope, etc. Half-Brick, Postcard from Half-Brick is on it as well. And then some of the native SDKs like Pocketeers, Battle Balls, Chaos, which is also from Marmalade's platform as well. And this is one of the German companies, Fish Labs, and the CEO, as I will just don't say the word, but you can read it. They mentioned it's in just one day they ported over their game engine, which is Galaxy on Fire 2 full HD, and that's just the platform itself. Of course, it took them a bit longer, a couple of weeks, just to modify the UI. But it just tells you it's quite easy to port over games to our platform. Paw Print games. I'll walk you through a case study of Paw Print games as well, and it's probably a very similar story for the other guys, but at least gives you a bit of an idea how they did it. So they are basically founded in 2011. Typically, they first target the existing iOS, iPad, Android platforms, and then they started to port it over to BlackBerry Playbook. This is the environment, how they work it on. They have several branded games from Lego, some tie-ins with Transformers and Narnia. They're released on multiple platforms, and then they started porting it over, supporting multiple other platforms, like for instance, making use of native SDKs. They routed to Playbook using our native NDK and device Playbook. Now, the typically way they support multiple games, they have the main game code, generic engines, and then multiple engines for the different platforms. Where the graphics, audio input, and online are able to make use of. It supports OpenGL, and from audio, OpenAL. They have implemented IO-specific things as well for the online. Now, for Playbook-specific engines, they have 6 source files to use: the GLS, IO system, online system, our rating system, file, and engines. And everything else is pulled from existing open source components like OpenGL, OpenAL, etc. Now, the number of months making a game for them, they basically look into the porting itself. It took them about 3 hours to integrate into the first build, then 3 hours to get the coding compiled, and then another 12 hours to get the game running. So in overall, roughly about a day just to do the job, get some coffee plus sleep, and the job was done, right? So that's just a typical example of how these developers actually ported the app over. There's some examples of Wacky Rapids. Now, in terms of the Playbook itself, the BlackBerry 10, we support multiple open source platforms. You find basically a lot of the information at Developer Zone, as well as github.com/BlackBerry. Most of the SDKs and utilities can be found at the Developer Zone, and it's basically the environment which allows you to actually make use of it and port it over. Some of the development tools which can be found there as well. These are some of the links which you can use. So if you're a first-time developer, have a look at blackberry.com/developer. For game developers, there's a specific site, Game Developer. Then the open source GitHub, and the framework for gameplay 3D. Now again, if you are from this region, do check out the BlackBerry Jam session as well. We do have in July several roadshows coming up. in Singapore, in Jakarta, in Malaysia. Those who are outside the Southeast Asian markets, we also have one in China as well. So how to make money? Let me just quickly go through that. Today, BlackBerry Messenger has 55 million active users, so which is a powerful social graph which you want to link and tap into. These are it drives user uptake by 15 times on average. So it's a very good environment to leverage. Scoreloop, 125 million users today. It supports multiple platforms, including competing platforms. The App World Carousel, very powerful tool as well. Those who are running on competitive platforms, you probably know if you have a new game or a new app, you only get features one day into, for instance, iOS Carousel. Now guess what? We can help you to be featured for a whole week if it's a game which have an interest for us. So we do have a lot of capabilities to really drive awareness about your game. Plus we have several retail stores in the region as well where you can leverage our retail capabilities as well. Give you an example, in Indonesia we have about 5 flagship retail stores and about over 5,000 branded partner retail stores as well. And that's again a type of leverage which you can make use of as well. Plus we have carriers which we are working with for in-carrier billing, and that gives you another exposure as well. This is carrier billing. So again, with the carrier billing capabilities in countries like Indonesia, that allows you again to have a much faster uptake of freemium-based games. So besides the normal credit card, PayPal, you also now get the opportunity to make use of carrier billing as well. So let me just quickly go through this part. So typically when we decide to work with you as a game developer, there are multiple angles where we can actually leverage upon. That is our carousel, the App World Carousel. We have above the line and below the line capabilities like print, brochures, our social networks, our own websites where we can actually brand and support your games. And that again gives you the ability to get visibility very quickly at a very large audience. Plus the multiple payment options which you provide, which is basically an opportunity for you guys to monetize. So AppWorld has some filters as well. You can read through that, but it basically allows you to do very specific targeting campaigns, either with the operator or specifically if you just submit it to AppWorld, you can actually also target specific carriers or countries or regions. And if you make use of our specific APIs, where you can actually create what we call super apps, there's a higher chance that we actually will work with you as well to market your app into our region. Now let me just summarize again. Key thing is if you make use of the super app APIs, you have a much higher chance to get featured onto the carousel. And again, we have multiple angles to market you as well. And we typically also have capabilities like developers' success stories, which you leverage on our social network sites as well. Now, if you are interested, come and see me. We have a booth here at the main hall. You can either connect to me through BBM if you have BlackBerry. If not, try to get one. Or you can follow me on Twitter, as well as there's an email account as well. And for those who are game developers, I'm going to give out later on 30 playbooks which you can take back home to start and develop your game on Playbook. What you need to do is after my presentation and the demo from Yasushi, just come back here, see me, I'll give out stickers, and these stickers will then entitle you to collect your playbook at our booth at the main hall. With that, I would like to hand over to Yasushi, who's going to demo Marmalade's game. I think it's Lara Croft, right, which you're going to show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Johan, for the intro. Just quickly, while I connect demo device to the system. So Marmalade is a cross-platform app development solution which enable you to develop application on Visual Studio Xcode to target iOS, Android, and BBX, etc. for the platform marmalade supports. So once you have your app on marmalade, you don't port your application to target BBX. It's simply a matter of adding a tick box to a deployment to create a BBX package, which is a bar file. So unfortunately, we have to use the conversion to show on the screen. So it doesn't really do justice to the console quality game here. So I would like you to come to a booth or BlackBerry stand to check out the actual quality of this game. So this game, Lara Croft, Guardian of Lights, has been ported from the console code base across the marmalade to target all of the mobile and tablet devices, including BB10 and Playbook. The BB10 platform has been quite solid platform already. So once we have supported the platform with Marmalade, all the developer who has been using Marmalade was able to target BB10 as a matter of day or week. I think that's about it. The screen is too dark to show the quality. So please come to our booth or BlackBerry stand to check out the quality games.
Yeah. Just for your information, we also have here a partner, Evan Spitma from PopCap. And guess what? Plant vs. Zombie also runs on Playbook. So just have a look at our booth. You will see probably some of these games there. And again, like I said, come and see me after this session. I think it's now lunch break. And I'll hand out some of those stickers. Just show me your business card and I'll give you the sticker to redeem a Playbook. Thanks.